magic of the cup has well and truly worn off, and it's back to the grind of the league as a trip to third place Salford awaits. With our dreadful away form in tow, what could possibly go wrong? Welcome then to this week's Friday preview show. I'm Julian Roberts. I'm back in the hot seat, replacing Jordan Morland, who did a stellar job as always, and he swapped places to be on the panel. How are you, mate?
Just don't want to give up the Friday pods. Hello, happy Friday, everyone. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Good to see you. Always nice to see that pretty face. And
thanks.
Yeah,
mate.
look forward to talking about difficult away form. But here to remind you, Julian, that Australia's a tough place to go and get a win.
Oh, we're doing this now, are we? 6th of November.
I think so, mate. I think so.
I don't know if I told you that I've booked a flight for the first test in Perth.
See, I knew you were going to Perth, but I don't think the listeners know. So I think it's good to get it out there.
So I've chosen Perth over Radiohead and Barrow Away, which is that same weekend. It's quite the choice.
It's a long way to go to avoid some good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long way to go for some more sporting disappointment, I imagine.
So what are you doing? Are you doing every day of the test, or
doing all 5 with my in-laws? Which
someone's earning.
No, it's actually not that bad, mate. Cricket tickets out there are a lot cheaper than they are here. I'll tell you that.
Well, the flight and all that. I mean, it's that coconut money, isn't it?
Do you know what I'm telling
so
you? It's
all
not
that
as bad as
coconut
you
money.
think it is. It's the coconut money.
People are going to be
It's the coconut money.
Suspicious. And for the record, for those subscribed, I'm not going to Australia.
I mean,
doesn't stretch that far to take all of us.
No. I mean, I've not shown you what the budget looks like, and it's all going to one place. I'm telling you that.
Are you gonna do an Australia tour diary on Substack for us?
I could.
That's
do.
good. That's
I could
good.
do.
That's good. Nutter content. We'd like that.
I could send a voice note in for the preview pod, or do a review pod of the first test.
What I like about the away Ashes tour is sort of going to bed and it being sort of relatively okay because it's not really got going, and then waking up and it's not.
It's a disaster.
So that's what the Substack content should be. Just an angry voice note from you for everyone to wake up to.
What I'm also excited about being, obviously I was in Australia this time last year for as I mentioned on the pod, and what I love is following United games out there because you can do it the Max Rushton way, as I call it, which is just scroll all the way back through the Twitter thing and then live the game through the tweets. Which is always a good laugh, which I did for Charlton away on Boxing Day. Kick off, 1 tweet, next tweet, 1-0 Charlton. So that's something to look forward to for all of us. You mentioned the coconut tier there, obviously funding my trip to Australia. This is the pod where we're finally going to do the draw, Jord, for the hospitality tickets. We're going to do that at the end.
Very excited. Very excited.
I've got it all set up on a random wheeled name selector thing. It's just got the emails in, so I'm going to have to try and not give out someone's email and just hope that their email is like first name, second name.
Their name.
Or I'm going to have to quickly get into Substack and edit it out to find the actual name.
All that coconut money is going to go with the GDPR fine that we're going to get from the winner. Good stuff.
Once I've spent it all getting to Perth and back, yeah.
You can share your screen so I can see it happen.
Yeah, we'll do it all. So there's proof as well. So then we if anyone moans when Tom Walker's name comes up,
more than one Tom Walker though, as we know.
Yeah,
but this is good. We need this because there's no presser to talk about. So we needed to fill the void.
George, we've got 2 different cup competitions to talk about, so there's plenty of stuff to talk about.
I think one's a trophy, but this
sure.
Semantics.
Fair enough. But we'll talk about the other draw, shall we? Not the coconut tier draw, but the FA Cup second round draw. Maybe another disappointing draw for a lot of listeners. Stockport away, Jord, top of League One. Literally could not have been a worse draw, could it?
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to get any words or any content out of this because, like you say, at the time of the draw happening, maybe it'll be different by the time we get there. You literally couldn't get any better, as in difficult team to play.
Yeah.
Then throw into the mixer that it's away from home, so that's a stinker. Feels a bit like that might be the FA Cup done for us, which is a shame. But
you've got to say, what a run! That's one to go down in the ages.
But let's spin a positive because if we do leave that with a win, like we'll be buzzing, right? What an achievement!
Yeah, would be, but it's one of those. It's not quite
possibly a big if there, but
because even though they're top of League One and they're obviously a brilliant side, just like Stockport away, it doesn't feel like as huge as it probably is. Does that make sense? It wouldn't feel as like momentous as like even going to like, I don't know, Cardiff or someone like that, or another League One side of a bigger size. I don't mean to.
Well, Cardiff famously got knocked out by Borough, so that wasn't
Okay,
an
sure.
option.
All right. But do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be them specifically. But anyway, so yeah, maybe good job on the pod on Sunday, but maybe a bit of a waste of time in the end reviewing the Chester win.
It was a good win. It was a professional win. Can only beat that's in front of us, and yeah, I think there's some positives to take from that. Possibly some positives from Wednesday as well.
Yeah, well, here we go. I mean, talk about professional wins. A 1-0 win against Brighton under 21s. Finished second in Group H of the Vertu Motors Trophy. And through to the next round, Jord. You actually watched this game, which is amazing because normally we sort of muddle through these by sort of looking at like live score and just seeing who came on and off and like a few of the stats. But you can actually give us the lowdown.
I can to an extent. There's a big caveat here, which is I have a 3.5-year-old whose bedtime is around 7:30. So by the time little Wes had gone to sleep and I'd gone downstairs, put the telly on, we were already 1-0 up. And the commentary just kept talking about how, bright start, positive opening, sort of 20 minutes or so, and then it's tailed off. So I got to see all of the tail off, which is
Brilliant.
terrific. But yeah, no, there's some positives there for sure. I think, I think we were bright in the first half. I think a couple of people had some good cameos, people like Kachunga and Ben Knight, specifically in the first half, not the second. Both faded off as the whole team did. So hopefully some players there that can maybe move some trophy form into league games. Hopefully, disappointing lack of goals. There was an opportunity on Wednesday night to finish top. The carrot for finishing top is obviously a home game. So if we'd won by 3 goals, I believe we would have finished top. So sounds like a bit of an arse, but if you take the lead after 6 minutes, you think, God, you've got enough time there. You've got to, got enough time to build on that. In terms of nerves for Wednesday night and going through or not, I have to say the only point I got nervous was none of the pre-game shock, but was actually when we sort of the clock ticked into sort of the late 70s, early 80s, and all of a sudden it's not far off from the end, and you're 1-0 up, and if we'd drawn, we would have automatically gone to the penalty shootout, and if we didn't win the penalty shootout, we would have not gone through. And I think I was just nervous, not so much because this tournament means much to me at all. It famously is the opposite, but just sort of nervous for not winning from a winning position, which we did rather ceremoniously in the Vertu game before, away to Barnet. And yeah, just good to just get across the line.
Was it the sort of game where like were we like knocking on the door for a lot of the second half? Could you see that what I hear a lot of with the under 21 sides is that there's obviously some pretty good technical players there. Brighton have got a brilliant academy, so they're probably a great example of it. But because they've not played a lot of men's, top level football, professional football, they often tire towards the end of games. So you often see quite a lot of mad games. I've seen it, which obviously has a lot to do also with the rotation of the League One or League Two side. But I think the sort of theory is that a lot of that goes into the fact that their fitness isn't quite, the young lads' fitness isn't quite at the stage of, a full pro, which is why they end up going out on loan to sort of build that up. Is that something in the later stages of the game that you saw us kind of dominate and knock on the door a lot, or were we kind of easing off as well? Because quite a few senior players playing last night, and obviously we got Saturday, quite an important game.
So you've asked a really sensible and intelligent question, and can I just answer by just spurting out a random fact that I remembered from Wednesday night? It just popped into my head.
Brilliant.
Rio Ferdinand's son came on off the bench. Tate Ferdinand, I think his name is.
Right. Well, it's good that I got a solid answer to that question.
There's some analysis for you. No, to be honest, mate, it was the opposite. We had a lot of possession, and I think the biggest positive that I can spin from definitely second half Wednesday night, possibly the whole game, was how much we limited Brighton and they didn't really have many chances. And it's kind of the opposite of what you were saying there. Like in the latter stages of the game, They were 1-0 down, obviously bottom of the group with with a lot of pride at stake. They weren't, you know, they weren't having chance after chance. We contained them really well. I think their best chance came last kick of the game, which was a free kick from sort of 20, 30 yards out, which they absolutely spooned high and wide. No, we weren't really knocking on the door. We definitely had openings. I don't think we had as many chances in the second half as we did in the first. I think a little bit better form in front of goal, a bit sharper in front of goal. We probably would have got that second goal, but there weren't lots of chances. Contained the ball very well, moved it around very well. Got minutes into Apparet. He got into a few good opportunities, which was nice to see. But no, not like a busy, frantic last sort of 20 minutes or so of the game with us having a lot of chances on goal, especially. And I wonder if it's a classic case of the Neil Harris cautious use, but getting into that final phase of the game and thinking, well, if we go too gung ho, we don't score and we equalise, we could go out. So,
Yeah.
which seems a bit of a sad way to look at it for a tournament that Harris has said doesn't mean much to him. I think he said he didn't understand what it was or how it worked. But I guess
He's a
there
man
is,
after my own heart, Jord.
look, there's prize money. We won the game. Pocket that prize money. Put it towards Julian's trip to Australia. Maybe I don't know how the club finances work, but I'm
So they
trying.
should work, I'm telling you.
Trying to think of some positives. I mean, I think still being in the competition is a good one. I can't remember when the next round is. I think it's not for a while, but I feel like it's good to be in here so that we can give those fringe players minutes. Because
Yeah.
through like the winter period, obviously injuries are more of a thing, so you want people to be a bit sharper. So there you go, spun a
Mm.
positive for you.
Yeah, well, obviously that's true with like your
And
Bradshaws and
great home form
yeah,
continued.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you actually sent me the graphic earlier that I think I'll have to dig it up right this second. What are we? Most home wins in all domestic competitions. We're top of the pile.
All
Nine
comps,
wins,
all
all
comps
comps.
by
Yeah,
quite a while, aren't we? Oh no,
no,
Bolton's
just
got
one.
eight.
Yeah,
Just one.
but still, it's pretty good. Um, but obviously, you mentioned those fringe players there, which is definitely the positive of the competition. Your Rossies and Bradshaws and Hoddles and McConnells. My question is kind of on the other players. I've noticed Mayer and Panzu Gibbons all played 90 last night. Kai Brophy Watts all came on. I couldn't. My app didn't tell me how long for, so I'm not sure. Also, Apare, I want to talk about in a second. Do you think with the game being on Wednesday, not Tuesday, we don't know why that is, that might impact us at all negatively going into Saturday?
Yeah, Wednesday night's a weird one. Weird feeling having it on the Wednesday. Um, of those names that you listed, I think Watts only came on because Rossi went off injured. I think the rest were all sort of tactical and strategic. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to impact us, and I wonder if people played or got minutes because it was Wednesday rather than the Tuesday. I understand that the squad are traveling today on Friday. This is the Friday pod. Um,
Well done.
so yeah, so let's say like Friday's out of action in terms of training and so forth. I don't know what they would have done Thursday. Would it have been a lighter session or just those that weren't involved on Wednesday being on the grass? So yeah, an odd one this Wednesday night, and I can't decide if it's a good thing or not.
Yeah, I know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let's talk about Apare quickly. Came off the bench. How long did he play for? Ish.
Not as long as I thought he was going to play. I thought he'd be maybe on at half time
Okay.
or maybe get like half hour or so. I think it was a lot less than that.
This can take us into Salford, but how important do you think having him back in the fold for November is? I mean, that's a huge positive for last night, getting him back in the action, isn't it?
It's one in, one out, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great to have him back. It's just a shame that the situation is it's not the same numbers that we've still got to play around with. Lavery's going to be a big miss. But yeah, no, it's positive to have Apare back. I'm interested to see him and Kouassi play up front in a two, see how that might work. But yeah, hugely important to have him back.
Yeah, yeah. Looking forward to seeing if he gets on Saturday as well. As you say, whether I doubt he'd start, but we can get into that in a second, shall we? Let's move on to Salford. Unless you've got any other final Vertu comments, you're Vertu'd out.
I'm just excited for the the horrible away draw that we're going to get. It's definitely going to be like an Exeter or something like
Stockwell.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. um, all right, great. Well, whenever the next round of the Vertu is, I'm sure we'll cover it in the depth that it deserves on this podcast. But let's move on to Salford. Let's start with the preview. I had a chat with Dan from One Up Front blog. Right, United fans, delighted to be joined by Daniel from One Up Front Salford City blog. How are you, mate?
I'm rocking and rolling. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend. Can't wait.
Yeah, I bet you are. I mean, you're flying high in the league, only 1 point off top. 8 wins already so far this season as well. Feels a little bit like you've maybe gone slightly under the radar for a couple of teams like Swindon, Walsall, Grimsby, even Gillingham have caught the headlines. Salford have just seems like they've kind of trucked along and find themselves up there.
Yeah, we seem to do this. We kind of we had a season, 2 or 3 years ago, where we've got into the playoff semi-final. Season afterwards, Cal Robinson came in after we'd sacked our previous manager because it was going terribly, and then we almost went down. And then last year, just missed out on the playoffs. This year, so far so good. Yeah, no complaints.
And you've got Carl in charge. Yeah, that's a pretty big, feels like quite a big appointment at this level, really, with the sort of history he's got. How's it been? How's it been under him so far?
How long have you got?
As long as you want, mate.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not fussy. Right. Well, it's. I think he was. You're right. I think he's got a big reputation. He's managed a hell of a lot of games for a manager as young as he is. So he's got pedigree. He's not everybody's cup of tea. I'd say as a personality, he's not really my cup of tea either. I say it a lot. But I think in terms of recruitment wise, I'd also say he's been a little bit iffy. But he's kept us at a level that was much better than the man he replaced. So in that sense, I think the club is going forward, and he does have an eye for youth. Although he can't always, any team that's going to be an eye on promotion, you're not always going to play a lot of young players. But I think he does the best he can within the remit, to be fair.
It feels like what are your sort of strengths under Carl? Is it very much like sort of I don't know where is it, because I know he's known for his like quite sort of boisterous attacking football. Is that the sort of side you are in terms of like gung ho going forward?
We can be, but I would say that the biggest part of his DNA while he's been with us has been intensity. So he's now actually been able to, because we've got a bit more funds, because we've recently been almost retaken over. Quite a lot of the class of '92 have stepped aside in favour of. I think we've got some members who are owning us now we've got India, we've got America, we've got Ireland, we've now got a lot of athletic players. We can run teams off the park. So again, I don't know what the profile of your team's like, but there are players in our team who they could do 2 90 minutes back to back, no problem. Really fit lads, really, really energetic. So
he sets them up to press quite high, does he, to try and get the ball back up the pitch and sort of harry teams?
Yeah, we actually last year I think we finished the highest in or top of the league in high recoveries. So we were pressing in the final third and trying to win back as much as possible, and also PPDA, which might not be the biggest stat that people don't know about. It just means passes per defensive action. So we pressed more often per pass of the opposition than any other team in the league, and that's what Cal wants us to do.
Yeah, that's that intensity, isn't it? I mean, it seems to be working. Your form recently looks pretty decent as well. Heading into Saturday, is it the sort of game that you're expecting to continue that push on, or where do you see yourselves in this division? Do you see yourself top three, and this is the sort of game you've got to go and win?
I'm actually starting to be honest. I'm quite a bit of a I'm quite critical, if not negative, really, about my own team. So I'm not one of these people who are like, oh, of course, yeah, we're going to walk it every year, and then suddenly you're kind of, you're near the relegation zone. I'm a bit more reasoned than that. But I think we have to be towards the top three. Otherwise, I think, despite what we've said about Cal already, I think he will be under the biggest pressure ever. When you're starting to shell out, I say it on a lot of previews, and I say it in my blog a lot, you can't spend 325 grand on a striker and then, his pick, I would imagine, a player in contract. We're not just waiting for free transfers anymore. When you start to bring in a lot of players from high divisions, as we've done towards the end of this transfer window, the pressure's on. And when it's good, it's good. And then every now and again, we don't turn up. We didn't turn up against Walsall. We didn't turn up against Grimsby. There's a few times where you can tell from the first 5 minutes we're just not at it. And I don't know why that is, because I think one thing that Carly's generally good at is motivating his team to actually give their all. So I'll turn up on Saturday. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing. I hope Killian Kouassi's still fit because
He
I
is for
used to.
now.
I
Yeah.
love, I love, I loved him. I actually broke that transfer because through his agent, I got some information that a few days ahead of time that he was coming to us. So I've always felt a special affinity. He didn't really score a lot for us. We can park him as a topic now if you want, but yeah, Kouassi for me was everything but the goals. If he just had goals, he would be the complete striker. Then he won't be in League Two, though, I guess.
That's really interesting, actually. Like we may as well quickly chat about him because I was going to ask you. I mean, because he hasn't got loads of experience. When we signed him, obviously only on loan,
Yeah.
Harris was saying in his press conference that he knew him from like London connections because he was
Okay.
at Sutton before he was at Blackpool. But
Yeah.
there wasn't loads of evidence to go off. And you look at the raw numbers, and I don't have them in front of me, but he'd scored like once or twice for you guys on loan, right? But
Mhm.
was his like reputation a bit better than that amongst your fan base in his time there?
I think a lot of people really liked him because he was, again, apart from the goal, the last final part of the puzzle. He can hold the ball up. He's one of the quickest strikers that we've seen there. Very, very, very strong. And for a lad his size, I couldn't believe how technically good he was with his feet. You know, and so I think we warmed to him, but then towards the end, when you started to see him in warm-ups for the games, shanking it over the bars, going over the stand, I just started thinking, yeah, I love the guy, and I feel like I'm rooting for him, but it just felt like his boots were never on the right feet. So that was the only thing that I felt he couldn't do.
Well, do you know what? He's actually in a bit of. He scored twice against Chester in the cup last weekend, and
So I hear, yeah,
he's getting better and better every week. I've got to say, whenever I see him, he's really grown on our fans. So I'd be really interested to see how he does on Saturday.
yeah,
But your own striker, I notice here, Danny Udo is a
love him.
name. I mean, what's he doing in League Two would be my question. Is he the main man to
Money,
watch? Yeah.
money. What do you mean? He didn't come for free, so I don't know what wages he's on. Um, but yeah, I think we've really outstripped ourselves there because we've kind of made. We had Matt Smith for quite a few years. We had a big, strong target man who we played to for about 3 seasons in a row. So we had a style that reflected that. Dan Udo is, I wouldn't say he's the best finisher I've ever seen, but if you look at his stats, I think it's like 4 goals and 4 assists in however many games. So he's setting up a lot. He's missed a few, but I think he's there as a facilitator as much as he is as a scorer. And because we've got really quick lads either side of him, Kadeem Harris on the left, and we've got Kelly and Mai on the right, that is a recipe for a who you're going to shut down. There's a lot of pace there, and depending on your back line, that could be a nightmare for you.
How do you guys normally set up then? Is it what's the normal formation?
We have two, and I only mentioned the fact we've got two because we used one against Gillingham, which we'd never used before. We don't play a back four system unless I'm missing the plot. We haven't really played it for about 12 months. Carl has had us as a back three in when we play a back three, it's a 3-4-1-2.
Okay.
So we have our attacking midfielder, strange enough, his actual raison d'etre is basically pressing rather than actually being a traditional attacking midfield. He's almost like if you remember what Sarri did at Chelsea years ago. He tried to make N'Golo Kante into a pressing attacking midfielder up the field. It's a similar types of thing. But the game plan he used against Gillingham, which I love to see, was a 4-2-3-1. And it just meant we had a lot of pace in behind. We had 3 fast players in behind the striker. So other teams, lots of rotations of where people were popping up. So that sent opposition defences into absolute, they were really threatening. So I think we've only played it the once. I like to see it as a bit of a change of pace, but I think you'll see probably a 3-4-1-2, high wing backs, and probably quite maybe at least one DM specialist sitting in front of that back three. It might be defend with 4, attack with 6. We see that a lot.
I see, yeah. If you were to flip it the other way around, if you were Neil Harris's coaching staff and you were advising on any weaknesses to get at, what might it be?
I tell everybody this, so I hope I don't get in trouble for this, is that It depends. I think personally, with the injuries we've got, attacking us down our right side is an area that could be exploited because we've got a player who's come in, Brandon Cooper, who was ex-Leyton Orient. He's played at a few places in League One. So pedigree-wise, very, very good. He's not set the world alight so far. He's kind of our stand-in right centre-back. But thankfully, in front of him, although he's quite high up the field, our right wing-back is probably one of our best players. Hadji Minoga, ex-Portsmouth, and we signed him from... Aldershot, I think he was. He's been an absolute revelation. You don't find many absolute bargains in the National League, but I would say if he can help cover for Cooper on the right, we might be able to get away with it. Who've you got on that side to maybe exploit that on the left?
We've got Adam Mayer, who will probably play down the left, who we've got on loan from Millwall, he's been like the undoubted signing of the summer, I would describe.
Wow.
So he's been brilliant, and he works really hard in both directions, and he's a proper Harris man. You could tell it's a proper like Harris connection. So
Okay.
that kind of if you were gonna give me any sort of side as a weakness, I'm hearing I feel good about that one. But I don't know if you've seen our away form. We are I mean, we're only just about better than Shrewsbury, Cheltenham, and Accrington away from home, I think. So
Okay.
it's a tough ask for us. But that leaves me on to the big question, which is a prediction. What do you see the game? How do you see it going?
I keep wheeling the same thing out in terms of with my predictions on previews recently. I keep saying that we're going to score two. We only because that's what Cal seems to demand us. That's his minimum expectation. His team, as you said before, is defined by attacking football. So I think at home with a good wind, if we get off the coach in the right spirit, then I think we'll probably get two. I'm just going to highlight one of the matchup that I think is problematic. Although I think Adebola Oluo, our middle centre back, is a very nice, clean defender. I think he'll struggle up against the power of Kouassi if he's going to be playing right through the middle. So I don't think he'll be able to shift Kouassi because Kouassi's like an oak tree who's just, you know what I mean? I've seen the guy up close and he's like he's as broad as that. So yeah, that's another one I'd throw in. So I think we're going to score two. As I'm feeling positive, I'd say hopefully Matty Young, our superb loan signing, under 21 goalkeeper for England, can keep you out 2-0. 2-1 probably more likely because we do give up a lot of cutbacks across our penalty area. We don't seem to be able to control the wide areas either side of our box. So it could be a 2-1. I hope it's in our favour.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Well, Dan, thanks very much for joining. Obviously, I hope
Pleasure.
you're wrong. And we'll see you for the return leg.
No problem.
Thanks very much, Dan. Few things to pick out here, Jord. I've got to start with his love for Kylian Kouassi, which took me by surprise, I've got to say, because totally from the face of it, I'd not chatted to a Salford fan. I mean, there aren't particularly many of them in my experience. I kind of looked at it as a loan that, when you look at the stats, it's not a loan that like seemed like it went particularly well. It's not a load of goals. I think he played something like 18 times, didn't score particularly prolifically, and then I think it got cut short from a hamstring injury. But just going off Dan's comments there, he's quite open in saying, this guy had everything but the goals. Do you think he's the key Saturday? And did that surprise you a bit? I mean, it surprised me, his love for the man.
Goals, famously important as a striker, though, aren't they?
Quite crucial.
But do you know what? I'm with Dan. I'm firmly in the Kouassi fan club. I've been really impressed with him this season. I think is it 5 goals, joint top scorer for us?
All competitions must be, yeah.
All comps. I think they've all been at home as well. A lot of them feel like they've been at home.
Well, we don't score many away, do we? So.
All I can think of him at away games is sort of missing big chances because that's happened a couple of times. So hopefully Saturday he puts that right. I'm surprised at Dan's positivity towards him. Maybe it's because he broke the transfer. Subtle brag in there from Dan. But yeah, it feels like Kouassi is slowly and surely turning into a really positive signing for us. I feel like it's been a little while since we've had a signing come in that was underwhelming, but has then turned around and been a massive positive. Obviously the last time we were in this division, we had a ton of those. So it's great to have that spirit of sort of people coming in and and proving doubters wrong. And I think it's fair to say that we are in the doubter category on this podcast. We were surprised or a little bit disappointed or underwhelmed when the signing was made. But yeah, I kind of find myself agreeing with a lot of what Dan said there. Like his hold up play is great, his speed is good, his technical ability for a big guy is great. What's the cliche, like good feet for a big guy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Roll that one out.
Yeah, very low socks as well, which is always a positive, I think, when you're a striker of that size. I always rate it.
They're normal socks. They're normal socks. He's just very big.
Yeah, on that scoring away from home. I mean, maybe this is a really obvious thing to say. Last goal we scored away from home in the league. We sit here on the 6th of November. Top of your head?
Oh God, that's bad, isn't it?
I didn't realise it was this long.
None at Tranmere, none at Shrewsbury. There's a Bristol where we didn't score as well.
It's after Bristol, to be fair. It's Grimsby away. It's the 13th of September. It's nearly 2 months away. And if we don't score Saturday, then it will be Barrow at the end of November. And like before then, it's Colchester. It's pretty. I know. Like we're not picking up a lot of points away from home, but to not even be scoring goals is actually a huge worry that I hadn't quite clocked just how long it had been. But travelling to third in the league, that'll do it. Dan mentioned that they line up 3-4-1-2 pretty much always. Do you think Matt Casper will love this? Do you think we should be matching that setup up and playing free at the back ourselves?
So the last pod I was on, or maybe the one before, I spoke about my 3-4-3 idea. So yeah, I'm a big advocate of free at the back, as you won't be surprised to hear. I think we've got the players to play it. I think we've got people that can go alongside CUFC, and we've got the wing backs there. And I think the wing backs is key, because as strong as central midfield options are on paper, at least, I know the end product hasn't been that impressive at times, it is lacking pace. And I think pace is something that we can bring in via the wing backs. I think we've just got loads of options there. Bennett, Brophy, Mayer, they can all sort of slot in. And I think if you're going to play a team that is intense in the press, which we're led to believe Salford is, playing over the press, going long, going direct, and having pace around there is a good way to counter it. So I'd be open for it. I don't think it will happen. I think he'll probably stick with the 4-2-3-1 personally. But yeah, I do think that is an option, not just for Saturday against Salford, their intensity, their high recoveries, their pressing, but just in general, it's a good solution to get the best out of the players that we have and haven't got at the moment. Just the one sort of number 9 through the middle there, the lack of pace in midfield that I've mentioned. It means you get people like Job onto the pitch, bring a little bit pace into the back line, because that's going to be a factor on Saturday against Salford and their pacey front line. So yeah, I'm here for it, Julian. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it works. I think you're right. I think we've got the players for it. I think it naturally suits us, especially in a game like this. So I'd quite like to see it. How are you feeling about this game, Jord? Where's your head at with this and our expectations going into it?
Expectations aren't high, and which is probably not a shock, because if you look at the League Two home form table, Notts County first, Cambridge second, a team called Salford are in third. So it feels like history repeating. We're the preview pod for Notts County away, and I was with you guys when you were talking about, it feels like Notts County felt like the kind of game that we could go there, we could surprise, we could get a good result, channel that spirit of the Grimsby away game. So I'd love to be saying all those things about Saturday and Salford away, but I don't know, once bitten, twice shy. I'm a little bit anxious and a little bit apprehensive about Saturday, and I've got a feeling it could end up in a defeat.
I've got Salford 10th in the home form on what I'm looking at. Where is that the whole season?
Good stuff.
I mean, I don't disagree with you at all, but I mean, look, it's only like a couple of points worse than ours as far as home form goes. But But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think this is it's such a tough ask. They've really like, look, I mean, in the overall table, they're only a point off top, aren't they? Like they're a serious outfit. There's something about, and Dan kind of mentions it there in the preview, and I don't know if this is true of this Carl Robinson team, but there's something in my head that I always think Carl Robinson teams are quite, they can be quite like explosive in every sense of the word. Like they obviously press really high and attack really like intensely, but I also think they've got like a bad performance in them. They've got an unexpected defeat in them. They've got something that's a bit out of the blue in them. So a little bit of me thinks that we could go there and do something. It kind of worries me a little bit how much I'd consider it a shock if we were to go and do something there at this point in the season. I guess Salford is probably always a tricky-ish place to go, but I really would consider this quite a big shock if we were to go up there and win, for example, which maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe I'm setting my standards a bit too high there, but do you see what I mean? That the amount I would consider it a shock kind of maybe tells me where I think our team are this year. But look, it's no doubt a really tough ask. Take a point, Jord.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think we have, despite everything that I've said and you've said, I do think we have the squad of players that, and then an echo sentiment that's been said on the pod before, that we shouldn't really fear going to these places. Yes, like you say, they're a point off the top, had some good results recently, including beating Stockport and Vertu, big trophy that. But yeah, we shouldn't we shouldn't be afraid of any away game. We should be able to channel that mindset that really should have got us the 3 points at Gillingham away. So yeah, we shouldn't be bigging it up as much as we are. I feel like it's just we're in this rut, like this terrible away form rut. That
when did we play Gillingham away? Do you mean Grimsby?
Did I say Gillingham?
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
I thought it was maybe in the Vertu, mate. I don't follow the Vertu, and you're
did I say that Salford beat Gillingham away? Because they did. Is that not what I said?
I said that Salford beat Stockport.
Yeah, they beat Stockport. They've also beaten Gillingham away.
Okay, yeah, brilliant. Well, look, we're both coming to it so prepared. No, yeah, they are. I agree with that. They're clearly a good side. So how would you line up them? Go on, what's your prediction? Actually, no, sorry. How do you think he's going to line up rather than what you're going to do?
I think it'll be the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Mayer got the full 90 on Wednesday, because that seems odd. That seems peculiar to me in that he would be my first choice, sort of wide left, attacking left. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he's looking at Kai to start instead. Your pal on the preview there said that their weaker side is their right, our left. So maybe that's what he's thinking. So yeah, I'll go 4-2-3-1. I think the back five probably will be the same as Chester. So Bennett keeps his place. The two midfielders is an interesting one.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Because if you're playing that press, then you're looking for them to you're looking for like a number 6 to drop in with the centre backs and play from there. You're looking for them to pass well and pass quick. And we've seen both Corey Smith and Don Ball not do well when pressed. So surely it won't be those two that start on Saturday. But if Ruddock played 90 on Wednesday, maybe that is his thinking.
And yeah, Ball and Smith didn't even get on the pitch right on Wednesday, which maybe indicates full rest Wednesday night.
Yeah,
kind of points to maybe it's them two. And then Mayer does seem like the sort of player that's like very durable to me. Brilliant. That'd be famous last words, but
not our player. So just like run him into the ground.
Just rinse
him.
Why
not? Why not? Let's go Mayer, Kai and Brophy. Although I'm suspect of Mayer playing the 90 and Kouassi up top.
Yeah. I'd probably go with that. As much as I want to see 3 at the back, I actually would probably agree with that. And I think just judging by those minutes, Smith and Ball might be the combination, maybe to continue that good form from Saturday as a combination. I think that's everything, Jord. I think it's time for the big moment, isn't it? If obviously anyone who's not going to Salford, there is a good option. If you're watching the game from home I assume you're watching with the Frankfurt U's, Jord, on Saturday.
Might mix it up, might head to Finland, but we'll see.
The Helsinki use, of course. But before you do that, obviously you can head down to our drinking partners, the Old Spring, get a Matchday Meal Deal. Before any CUFC home or away game, you can get a £15 burger, fish and chips, or infamous skepasti. Someone's got to go and give us a review of theirs soon. And also then after the game, once we've polished off 3 points at Salford, you can go and enjoy their Saturday happy hour between 6 and 7. So head down there. George, should we do it? Should we do the draw?
It's the only reason I'm here. It's the only reason I've
Okay,
stomached
look.
the last half hour together is to see this.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can. Can you see this?
It's a very brightly coloured spinning wheel, like spin. God, what is it?
It's like a roulette wheel,
Yeah.
and it's got all of our wonderful coconut tier emails here on the right, and I'm going to give them just a little shuffle, just because why not? And then I'm just going to press.
You got some questionable tabs open, mate. You probably should have, shut those before.
Don't worry about them. They're on
Shut
that's on
those
the
before-
VPN, mate.
Shut those before putting your screen on.
Right, here we go. It's spinning.
Wheel of Fortune was the reference I was thinking of. That's what it looks like.
Sure.
You're probably too young for that. Never mind.
Okay, right. I've got an email address, but you just need
Oh,
to. I need to know the first name of that. One sec.
Butcher.
The surname is Butcher.
Should we just call them that? That's a great
Butch.
name. The suspense is killing me. This is great. They paid their subscription, which is good.
They've paid their subs, which is very good. I haven't got his first name. Oh my god, it still doesn't have his name. He hasn't got his name anywhere.
You're saying he could be she.
Could be she.
We're seeing one initial, a dot, another initial, and then dot Butcher. So if that sounds
Butcher,
like
you've won, and I'm going to email you, and you will find out that you've won.
top work, Butch.
Yeah, you are the only paid subscriber with the surname Butcher. So congratulations, Butcher, the Butchers. Enjoy your day out. The hospitality. We'll email you with the details for how to secure the ticket. Obviously, if you can't go, let us know and we can do the draw again, because it's so exciting that I accidentally pressed stop recording instead of stop sharing screen. So that hopefully that little edit point was quite smooth there, but it's about 10 minutes later than 10 seconds ago at this point. I'm only human, Jord.
Well, I made a mistake earlier in the pod and you called it out, so I'm good.
As I just said, I was just trying to clarify.
I'm glad you've mentioned it. And if we were recording on Thursday evening, I'd be giving you gripes about how you've extended the record and it's getting close to the Traitors final. But it's Friday, so that didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's Friday morning, so that's not the case. But that's it, Jord. We've jumped back on just to wrap up. Congratulations to the Mystery Butchers. Obviously, do sign up to the Coconut tier if you haven't already. There's plenty of great stuff on there. Bonus pod content. We've got some good stuff coming out in November with a couple of player interviews. Some merch drops before Christmas, Jord. That's very exciting.
The Ashes Tour Diary.
The Ashes Tour Diary. That's thrilling. And obviously, feature articles every week. You get like some of the best data writing through Ben Griffiths, if that's your cup of tea. You get 2 like deep dives a month and match previews every single week. There's also a great piece that Freddie, one of our writers, did interviewing Appare a couple of weeks ago. And he's put that together and put that out today, which is a really nice piece. Welcoming back our number 9. So just head to undertheaverstand.com to subscribe and support the pod as well. George, there's one bit of bad news that we haven't mentioned.
We don't know Coconut Tier's people's first names.
But no, because we're very good with GDPR. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm a very respectful guy. George, we didn't get nominated for the FSA Awards, and I think we just need to acknowledge that. And
in a pod that was full of cup and trophy success, we're ending on a negative.
And that seems very UTAS to end on the negative. Leave with a sour taste in the mouth. Thank you everyone for voting, for taking the time. Seriously, really appreciate all of your support, obviously.
How deep do we go into our criticism and our cynicism of who did get nominated and how there's no little club in there?
There is no little club in there.
Should we skip over that? Yeah.
Let's skip over that. They are 5 pretty big clubs, but congratulations. They're all excellent podcasts. We've chatted to a few of them before. The Wednesday guys are really nice and they got nominated.
I've checked it out. None of those that have nominated can get you a discounted skepasti, so not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Not worth listening to.
Maybe that's why we didn't get nominated, because we took the skepasti dollars. We're in the pocket of big skepasti, and that's not in the FSA's moral rule book.
Says the gentleman that's off to the other side of the world with that money.
Sweet skepasti dollar. Jord, let's wrap up on that nice sour note. Congratulations to the butchers. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll be back. I think it's me, Casper, and Tom. We're all making the trip on Saturday to Salford. We'll be back to review, hopefully, a nice, well-earned 3 points away from home. Cheers, Jord.
Cheers, everybody.